Terry and the Pirates.
Hey, Terry!
Hold on, Hotshot. Here we go.
What gives with you guys? Plane's been ready to take off for 15 minutes. I loaded cargo myself. It's just routine flight to Singapore. I loaded cargo myself. Come on, Terry. Get going. Hit the sky.
A five-letter word meaning necessity of life.
Look, Terry, this is no time to be working crossword puzzles. There's money involved.
Money! That's it, Chops. 5 letters, necessity of life, it fits. I'd have thought of it myself, but I haven't seen it for so long.
Look, Terry, I promised this load of raw silk would be in Singapore by tomorrow morning. With Chopstick Joe, a promise is a promise.
All right, here we go. Police Chops, not while I'm eating.
Okay, so you're bailing out on me just when I need you most. You won't even tell me why. What kind of pilots are you?
You hear that, T. Lee? He thinks we're pilots.
I wonder where he got that idea.
The way I hear tell, pilots get paid for flapping their wings.
We haven't paid a buck for over 2 months.
So if you don't get paid, you're not pilots.
We aren't pilots. We can't jockey a plane to Singapore. Right, Chaz?
Right, T. Lee?
Money, money, money. Is that all you ever think of?
Well, as long as we're grounded, we might as well hit the sag.
Night, Chop. Sweet dreams.
One moment. If you two won't take that crate up, I'll fly it myself.
Suicide will get you nowhere, Chops. Come on, Terry.
Okay, you win. Here's $100 on account.
Nope.
Why not?
On account of you owe us 500.
Okay, 200, but that cleans me out.
Are you sure that's all you've got?
That's it.
Well, under the circumstances...
You don't mind if we make sure?
This couldn't be another roll, could it?
Oh, you must be seeing things, Terry. Good old Chops wouldn't lie to us.
You double-crossing schmoes. You're both fired, as of now.
50 for you and 50 for me.
Now, look, boys, you can't keep that dough. I needed to make a payment on my life insurance.
Oh, sure, and I suppose we're the beneficiaries.
Of course. Who else?
Oh, don't worry about it, Chops. You can't take it with you.
With him, I wouldn't bet on it.
Now about that flight to Singapore. You'd like to hire us back?
We might consider it.
Well, go ahead. Get going. What do you think I'd pay you for?
Oh, but he said.
So long, Chops. See you in jail.
Don't forget, you flyboys cleaned out the cash register. If you get into a jam, don't come to old Chopsticks for help.
Wonder where Chops got the bankroll.
Now, look, chum, let's not start figuring. This was to be a nice, dull trip, remember? For once, let's just get where we're going and back again.
Chops is loaded with currency. Something's cooking.
Not interested. Let's talk about something else. Like about that babe I met in Singapore.
And now for episode 9 of Romance in Singapore, starring Charles C. Charles.
Well, you see, it was this way. I was walking into this place, and she was the most beautiful gal you ever saw in your life.
Greetings and salutations, Dragon Lady. Too long since you've honored Air Cathay with your illustrious presence.
I have no time for gallantry.
Okay, dear. You name the tune, I'll play it.
The flight to Singapore carried no passengers?
No passengers.
You are not lying to me, Chopstick.
Now, dear, I ask you, would I do a thing like that to you? Don't answer.
You are sure Burma was not a passenger on the plane?
Burma? Of course not. What do you want her for?
She stumbled onto some valuable information. She must not get it to Singapore. My men traced her here.
I haven't seen hide nor hair of her.
I can take no chances. Does the plane go directly to Singapore?
A couple of stops for freight pickups. Why?
Get me a plane and a pilot immediately. I must get to Singapore before they arrive.
Air Cathay stands ready to perform emergency service for its clients. At special rates, of course.
Get me a plane immediately.
You'll take off within 5 minutes. Of course, you understand,
I know. Special rates.
So I said to her, baby, as of now, you're completely out of my life.
How'd she take it?
She didn't say a word for the longest time.
And then?
She caught me on the button with a flower pot.
Anything in it?
Chinese lily. What difference does it make what was in it?
Well, I'm just a stickler for details, that's all. Hey, looks like we're coming into some rough weather.
Maybe we can ride over it.
I don't know. I don't think this can opener with propellers can make the altitude. We're at 11,000 feet now. Maybe you better go back and check the cargo.
What did the manifest say we're carrying?
Chop's own handwriting. 400 pounds of raw silk.
You mean Chops loaded it? Wrote out the bill of lading himself?
And that could be anything from raw silk to some samples of Fort Knox.
Oh, you are a suspicious character, aren't you? Well, carry on without me as best you can. Well, I'll be a second lieutenant. How did you get in here? Come on, Buster, make with some answers. Oh, the quiet type, huh? Come on, Buster, quit dragging your feet. Come on, you're a big boy now.
Everything shipshape?
Except for an extra sailor. Meet Buster.
Hey, where'd he come from?
Behind a crate of silk?
Stowaway, huh?
Who knows? He's the strong, silent type.
Maybe he doesn't understand English.
I think so. He looks American to me.
Well, I guess there's nothing to do but call the field. Dump him off. Air Cathay. Flight lead Air Cathay. Flight lead Air Cathay. Come in, Chops.
Air Cathay to a flight lead. What's cooking?
We're coming back in for a landing.
What's the matter with you guys? Can't you fly a plane anymore?
We found some extra cargo aboard. Someone left a little bundle on the doorstep.
What are you talking about? You're not making sense.
Keep this plane in the air.
Well, I guess I was wrong, Chaz. Our passenger speaks English very plainly.
Air Cathay to a flight lead. What are your characters doing up there? Are you coming in for a landing or aren't you?
In a word, Chops, we ain't.
Look, Sonny, if that goes off, it'll make an awful big noise, and I have very weak eardrums.
And see that your friend gets us to Singapore.
You heard the man, Terry.
Chops isn't gonna like this at all. Carrying an unpaying passenger.
Like the man said, we ain't got no choice.
I have a feeling, Chaz, we might be coming into a storm.
Yeah. Looks like it's gonna be rough any minute.
Hang on, everybody.
Dave! Burma! Where did you come from?
Well, of all, I better get on the radio and get Chops.
Wait a minute, Terry. I thought you guys were friends of mine. I need a lift to Singapore bad.
You sure picked a funny way of buying a ticket.
Give me a chance to explain, will you?
You can explain on the way in.
Don't you see, if we go back to the field, the bandits will be waiting for me. They threatened to kill me.
Come again?
That's why I had to put on this disguise, to get away.
Burma, baby, you've been working too hard. You need a nice, long, quiet rest.
Look, boys, it's very simple. I'm on an assignment
Huh?
for Affiliated News Service. I met Mr. Trenton, the head of the Singapore office, last week and talked him into giving me a crack at a job.
You mean as a reporter?
Sure. Girl can't live on her tonsils forever. I gotta consider my future.
Well, go on.
Well, this Mr. Trenton put me on probation. If I come through with this story, the job's mine for keeps. That's why I've got to get to Singapore.
And what, pray tell, is the story you keep yammering about?
Oh, nothing much. Just that the Maharaj of Toman's going to be assassinated.
What?
That's right. The couple of shady characters tipped me off thinking I was on their side. When they found out I wasn't, I had to make a hasty exit.
I see. When's the Maharaja heading for his happy hunting ground?
The day after tomorrow, when he leaves Singapore on a flight to his native state.
Well, I guess it's all right. But I better radio up the Singapore police and tell them what you just told us.
Not on your life, Terry. This is my scoop, and it's exclusive. There'll be plenty of time to tip off the cops after I file it.
Please, Terry.
Okay.
I tell you what. I'll mention you in my article. I'll say that you saved my neck.
Well, if you want to publish a picture with the article, I just happen to have a snapshot. Of course, it doesn't do me justice, but...
One more little favor, Terry. Would you send a message to my boss, Mr. Trenton? Ask him to meet the plane when it lands?
Okay.
Your wish is our command.
Flight lead to Singapore. Flight lead to Singapore. Come in, Singapore.
Wonder what's happened to Mr. Trenton.
Want to give you a lift?
No, you go on ahead. I'd better wait here.
How about joining forces with the Jaguar Cafe tonight, Furman? Cut up a couple of rice cakes.
Why not? What time, Terry?
Who said anything about him?
7 o'clock okay with you?
Fine.
Miss Burma,
Why, yes.
Mr. Trenton has asked me to drive you to his office. The car's parked at the side of the field.
Fine. Well, so long, boys. Thanks for the buggy ride. See you later.
Okay. Why don't you give a guy a break once in a while, Captain Lee? You know, if you weren't always hanging around, you'd get to know me for the fine, upstanding lad I really am.
Don't take it so hard, Junior. Maybe she'll bring a friend along with her.
We might as well face it. This time she stood us both up.
She doesn't like Burma.
All I can say is if you hadn't barged in on my date...
Oh, sure.
You know, it's my opinion a little reconnaissance is on the schedule. Maybe we can pick up a couple of better targets. As a matter of fact, the last time I was in Singapore, I spotted a couple of doves at the Sampan Club. At least it's worth a try.
Hey, let your wheels down a minute.
Huh?
Give a gander there over at the bar.
That's the character who picked her up at the field.
I think a few words of conversation are in order.
Yeah, maybe he'll tell us why we got the brush.
I beg your pardon. Remember us?
This afternoon at the airport.
You have wrong fellow.
Hey, now wait a minute. Don't you work for Mr. Trenton, affiliated news service?
Not know any, Mr. Trenton. You make mistake.
Something rotten in the state of Singapore. Hey, wait a minute. We want to talk to you, pal.
I tell you before, you make big mistake.
All we want to know is what happened to Burma.
Oh, Miss Burma, why did you not ask before?
Huh?
The same thing happened to her that happens to you. Now!
Wake up, boy. You've had your beauty rest.
Bring her out of the spin, Terry, before we crash.
We've already crashed, chum.
Huh? How did we get here?
We had an engraved invitation, remember?
Yeah. Holy smokes, it's morning. The Maharaja takes off today.
Yeah, the same thing happened to Burma that happened to us. There's no way of warning him.
I suggest we vacate the premises.
Right.
Nice to see you again, Golden One.
Sorry I can't say the same for myself, Dragon Lady.
I thought you would be more comfortable in here. Come, Mr. Lee. Sit over here beside me.
No thanks, D.L. Suppose you give us the facts of life. Where's Burma?
Why are you so concerned about her?
Just tell me where she is.
She is occupying another room. If I had known of your deep interest in her, I would have made other arrangements.
Like having her boiled in oil.
How long do you expect to keep us here?
Only until the Maharaja's plane departs at 4 o'clock.
You surprised me, D.L. I know you had to hand a lot of rotten deals, but I thought political assassinations were a little out of your line.
Believe me, Golden One, the assassination is not part of my concern. My only task is to see that you and your friends do not reach the police. For that, I am being well paid.
I'll bet. Suppose I told you they're giving the Maharaja a fighter escort.
I would not believe you. Besides, fighter planes are of little value when a time bomb has been placed within the craft they are protecting.
This gal's got more angles than a jigsaw puzzle.
And now, since you do not seem to be in the mood for conversation, Mr. Lee, please make yourselves at home. This is an excellent radio. It enabled me to pick up your message to Burma's employer and anticipate her arrival at the airfield.
So that's how you knew we were coming in.
It is most fortunate you arrived yesterday. The Maharaja's plane developed engine trouble, and arrangements have been made to rent your craft.
Huh?
Of course, your employer did insist on a rather large fee.
You mean it's our plane that's gonna get blasted?
I do hope it is heavily insured.
Holy mackerel.
You will be wise to remain here, gentlemen. Wong is right outside the door.
Looks like it's gonna be a cold winter.
We've got 6 hours to get word to the Maharaja.
6 hours, 6 days. What's the difference? You saw Wong out there.
There must be a way.
The radio. Well, you can't send a message over a receiver, chum.
No, but she'd be foxy enough to have a transmitter around here, too.
Yeah, and foxy enough not to let us near it.
Well, at least it's worth a look. You take a look in there, I'll shake down this room.
You're right, Terry, my boy. She does have a transmitter.
You found it?
The age of miracles has long since passed, but this mic must attach to something.
Where's the rest of it?
Only the Dragon Lady knows, and 50 to 1 she won't tell. At least not us.
You know, if we had a few more parts, we could rig up a signal.
True, very true. But unfortunately, I don't see any lying around.
Well, we could cut this mic into that set.
Sure, but what good would that do us? Unless you want to listen to the sound of your own voice.
No, but I might like to listen to your voice.
Huh?
Wong said you wish to see me, Mr. Lee.
That's right, D.L. It appears apologies are in order.
Oh?
I've been thinking, maybe I was a little hasty this morning. Besides, after the Maharaja's knocked off, I might still want to keep on breathing.
Is that the only reason for your change in attitude?
Well, there are other reasons, but why don't we sit down and wrestle with the problem?
Well, Mr. Lee?
Do you think we get rid of the audience?
I am certain Mr. Charles will not mind waiting in the other room until we finish our discussion.
Oh, I don't know. I might contribute a few ideas.
Go on, lad. Get moving. And shut the door behind you.
Okay.
About the Maharaja, maybe you're making a mistake.
I did not come here to discuss my business affairs, Mr. Lee.
I was just thinking of your interest. He might be worth more to you alive than dead.
I do not think my employers would approve of a double cross. Besides, it is much too late for a change in procedure now.
Why? It's only 2 o'clock.
An agent has been at the airfield since early morning. Shall we change the subject?
How about some music?
Anything you wish. I have often wondered how you were able to resist me, Mr. Lee.
It hasn't been easy.
And do you now see what you have missed?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. The Maharaja of Toman has just been killed in an airplane accident. The Maharaja's plane exploded in midair following a takeoff from the Singapore airfield. The plane was not scheduled to depart for 2 hours, but a sudden change in plans forced an earlier departure. We now return you to the program to which you were listening.
Sounds like you reeled that one off, D.L.
You now see the advantages of careful preparations, Mr. Lee. This change in the Maharaja's plans might have proved embarrassing.
Yeah. You know, I didn't really think you'd go through with it. Pretty cold-blooded, aren't you?
You don't really think so.
You know, I'm sure gonna miss that plane. Sort of a home for Hotshot and I.
Perhaps I can make you feel at home here.
I'm not in the mood, DL. Besides, I think you better send us on our way.
Do not be so impatient, Mr. Lee.
I know you're smarter than that. You're not going to stick around Singapore.
Perhaps you are right. Wong! Our guests are going to leave us now. You will please escort them into the country. I advise you to cooperate with Wong in every way. I do not want to lose your friendship.
Don't give it a second thought, DL.
Get inside the car.
Very fancy jalopy. Nothing like riding the last mile in style, is it?
Oh, I don't know, Chaz. Car's a car, wheels, an engine, seats, and doors that open wide. We're due back at the airport.
The airport?
Sure, we gotta win the Maharaja.
But I thought he was already dead.
We'll explain it to you on the way.
That looks like the pigeon over there.
Yeah, let's head him off.
Hey, wait a minute!
Don't go any closer to that plane.
There's a bomb planted aboard.
Somebody's trying to kill you.
A bomb goes boom, understand?
He doesn't savvy English. Come on.
Really, these American chaps, they never give one an opportunity to answer.
You be the hero, Terry. Leave me out of it. I'm too young to die.
There's nothing to worry about. They timed the blast for after the takeoff. Let's get through this luggage.
Demolition expert here. Terry! Terry, I think I found it. At least it's making like a clock.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Get rid of it, huh, pal?
Oh, your flaps, Chaz. It's probably set for an hour from now. Feels clear.
Are you off your rocker?
Cover your gums, chum. It'll go off in the right time, not a minute sooner.
Looks like the Jaguars had a change in bartenders. Can't imagine why.
Oh, hi, boys.
Ah, greetings and salutations. Pull up a chair. How'd your boss like the story?
Mr. Trenton, he fired me.
Odd and exclusive. He can't do that.
He said what happens proves that being a reporter is too dangerous for a woman.
Well, don't you worry your pretty little head about a thing.
We'll find something else for you to do.
I may not need another job. You see, Mr. Trenton asked me to marry him.
Huh?
What?
When he got so worried about me, he decided it must be love. What do you think, Terry? Shall I accept?
Well, that depends on whether you're...
Oh, Terry, I knew you wouldn't let me do it. That's exactly what I said to Mr. Trenton. I said that I'm practically engaged already.
Well, congratulations, old man. What? Hey, no, wait a minute. I just happened to remember, Chop's expecting us back tonight. Come on, Chaz, we better gas up the plane. See you around, Verma. Switch off. Switch off. Switch on.
Switch on.